All right. So in this particular problem that we have here, it says in the diagram below, QR, which is right here, is perpendicular to BD. All right. So this represents a 90-degree angle. All right. So let's go ahead and do a light one here and a light one here. So if we take a look at these two triangles here, we notice that both triangle ABQ and triangle CDQ are similar triangles. If two triangles are similar, then we could say they are proportional. What I like to do in this situation is to go ahead and, like I told you guys, is to create the triangle in the same direction and put the sides that correspond to each other. So if we take this triangle here, which is A, B, Q, and we take this triangle B, C, D, Q, I could go ahead and put the sides that corresponds. For instance, AB represents 32, BQ represents 15. And I look at the next one, we know what CD is. CD is 19.2. So the question says find BD. BD is the whole length, so I need to find first QD. Why? Because BD is actually equal to BQ plus QD. All right. So, but if we look at this right here, we know that, like I said, these two triangles are in fact congruent. Why? This angle here has to be the same thing as this angle here. Why? Because this represents 180 degrees, and we know that these two are right triangles. All right. Well, I'm sorry, this makes a right angle over here. So that means these two parts have to be congruent. Yes? Not yet. So once we have this here, we know that Q has to be the same as this Q over here, and A has to be the same as C. So therefore, we could write a proportion. What I like to do with a proportion is, if I'm using these two numbers, I must use these two over here. Since we don't have this represents X. I could write the proportion. It doesn't matter how you guys write it. I could write it as 15 over 32 is equal to X over 19.2. Once we get to this point, all you have to do is cross multiply and divide to get the value of X. So who could tell me, when you cross multiply these two numbers and divide, what is the value of X going to be equal to?
Can we have the control? Thank you.
Anyone? What is it? 15 times 19.2.
I got 9.
Divided by 32?
Yeah, divided by 32.
Is 9?
I got 9.
Yeah, 9.
Alright. So if it's 9, we come back to this right here where we said, because we want to find BD. So BD is all of this. So what is 15 plus 9?
24.
That's the value of BD. BD is going to be 24.